Welcome to the Gransberry Chronicles Weekly Pick'em, the LA Final Edition. We have reached the complete end of the season. We have played the biggest game on the biggest stage. We have to recap the winners and losers. And, as always, I got my boy D Jones on my right.
What up?
And
What up?
Coach B Pat will be with us soon on the left. But look, we are so thrilled to finally be at the end of the season and sad at the same time. I even wore my shirt, Wake Me When There's Football. I probably don't want to be woke when there's football because that would mean I'm going to be asleep a mighty long time at this. But we have our new Hall of Fame class, and we have some great things to discuss. We have me, of course, who had her first Super Bowl attendance. And I would say that I hate things like this when they happen because they spark new ideas. So I immediately called my co-host D Jones and told him, "Oh, you need to get your life together because we going." And when I say get your life together, meaning accepting we're gonna go to a Super Bowl for teams other than our own, not like checking anything else. But needless to say,
We'll see. We'll get there one day.
But as I said before, I didn't intend to go to the game. The guys wasn't trying to feel me on that. They were like, "Yeah, right." And I guess everything the guys pretty much said this whole season, postseason, was true. The guys said, "You're gonna end up at a playoff game. Just watch." I did. I ended up in LA at the NFC Championship. Wonderful game. I think, I honestly can't think of a time in the past decade that we had consistently good playoff games after that first round. It was really shaky that first weekend. We was like, what is going on?
Yeah, it was a lot of blowouts.
Blowouts, right? And we still expected the teams that won to win, but it just wasn't what we were looking for in the playoffs. But that second week, it gave us a run for our money, and everybody was worried, like, can the NFC Championship keep that same momentum? Can you rise to that level? And I felt like it was always the next week telling the previous week, hold my beer, like, I'm going to show you I got what it takes. And, I've already discussed how, I was outside the NFC Championship game trying to get in line to get inside. And you could hear the fans watching the Cincy KC game and that momentum. And I think that may have been somewhat of the spark that propelled me to just say, you know what, I'm going to the game. I don't know how I could just be in LA, go all the way to LA, and know that halftime show is taking place right down the road and try to watch it on TV. I think the halftime show, Derek made a post and he said, "How much would you pay for this lineup to see them in concert?" And I said, "A Super Bowl ticket." So, it's pretty much that's just what you do. I just like the whole setup. And the thing about it is, obviously, I don't have a setup to compare it to because I didn't attend the two Super Bowls that took place in Houston. So I can't really say we didn't offer that same setup. But I think it's a great concept, because it's like they turn it into festival grounds, basically. You enter at the outside, the furthest outside gates. You go through security and then you're on the property and you no longer have to get your ticket back out to maneuver through. So you can go all the way into the stadium and take pictures. You can come back out, and then you have your various corporate and high sponsored level tailgates. And if you have passes to those, you attend. If you don't, they still have plenty of common and open areas. I think they thought it out really well. They have a beautiful little lake in front of the stadium. They have professional photographers there so they could take your picture. You could get your number and be able to get the copy of that photo. So you had keepsake opportunities that were being presented. But I think what I really would rather talk about, other than, me going, because that's like my third time at a game in the stadium and my fourth time being at the stadium. I would prefer that I would get to hear, somebody else's opinion. And that someone else tonight would be Will Joyner. Most don't know or don't know how it started or what the motivation was. But after I attended the NFC Championship and just watched the fans cry and be emotional and see their team winning and knowing that they were playing in the biggest game in 2 weeks, I thought about Will and all the emotion he had to be feeling to see his team win earlier that day against the Chiefs. When you're passionate about your team, it gives you an adrenaline rush. It's something you don't have to explain to another fan. It's just how you feel. And so when I woke up today, I was like, he needs to be here. He needs to be in there. He needs to feel this energy in person. You got to touch and agree. Sometimes you just, some things are not meant to be just watched on TV. They are meant to be felt. And it took a life of its own. I still have been thanking anybody on my page who donated, whatever you donated. I don't even care what you donated. Thank you. Because I believe that, in life, we get those one moments. Going to Eminem, you lose yourself, you get that one shot and you sometimes got to take it. So with that, I want to share with y'all the small recap of Will, and then we're going to talk to him and bring him in and have a good chat. But first of all, we got to hit up what it looked like for him and how and his visuals. Let's check it out. Will, what's up? Good evening. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Hey. I see you and Will the Third chilling with us tonight. Good to see you again too. And thanks for helping me. Oh, that's right. Throw that towel up there. Look, I was all over the place. Before we get started, I ran into Will. And when I say I ran into Will, it literally was just divine intervention. Ran into Will. I was on the sidewalk looking at the line for the USC and UCLA basketball game. It was extremely long. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at this line. And literally Will reaches over and said, it just got shorter for you. And I literally had just walked up on them in line. You couldn't ask for a better run into, and that was my first time seeing them since they had been in LA. And I was just thrilled to see them. Like, them being in LA was enough for me. So I want to thank you again. And then I want to thank Mr. Lil Will. I want to thank you for helping me with my mask. Cause of course I got so excited. I dropped my mask and didn't have a backup, but we were able to recover it and move right along. So I think, we had a good action-packed weekend for the least, but we just saw the clip of you guys and the different things you checked out and some of the visuals you put together for your experience. But I just want to hear firsthand, because obviously I'm a fan of the game, but my team wasn't playing Sunday. So I still have to hear that story and know, but now So share with me a little bit of that.
First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for even putting the dream out there, and for all the people that donated. I mean, there's such a big story behind all of that, and it's just great. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You gave me and my son an opportunity that not everybody's team gets a chance to do, especially after a 30-plus year hiatus from doing anything like that, including winning a playoff game. It was outstanding to be able to be in the atmosphere. If you would have told me I was going to be in LA when it all went down, I probably would have told you, nah, there's no way in the world. But I mean, the Gransberry came through and she contacted me and was like, hey, what you think about going? I was like, what? What do you think about going? And so, I mean, when things got the ball started rolling and everything like that, it was very encouraging to see the support that we got. I mean, to be honest with you, as a family, we were kind of down and out at the time because we had a water leak in our house the weekend of the first playoff game. So the second two playoff games, we actually watched from a hotel and we finally able to get back in home basically last week, and we were getting ready to go out to LA. And like I said, it's just been a blessing. So just thank you. But when we got to LA, I mean, the first thing we wanted to do was to get a haircut. The first thing we wanted to do was to get a haircut. And out there, it's a little bit different. It's like a private club to get a haircut. So we went, knocked on the door, and the lady said, "Hey, y'all at the wrong one." But from there, we saw the Hollywood sign, and we're like, forget a haircut, we got to go to the Hollywood sign. So then we went to the Hollywood sign. So then after that, we saw some stuff, and then after that, we said, "Hey, look, it's time to go to the NFL Experience." So we went to the NFL Experience, and then after the NFL Experience, it was from there. It was, "Hey, we got about 15, 20 minutes in this hotel room because now we gotta go to the UCLA USC basketball game, and that's where we ran into you at." I mean, then after that, after the game, if you didn't know, USC won and they stormed the court. There's a picture of us on the court. Next thing I know, my son was out there on the court dancing and jumping around, and I had to tell the security guard, "I need to go out there to get my son." They looked at me and said, "Man, your old tail out there trying to storm the court with the kids." I was like, "Nah, I'm really just trying to get my own kid." And so I mean, then I don't think we slept much that night. We went and ate. We were excited, and at that point in time, my son did not know that we had tickets to the game. He just knew that we were going to be in LA. And so that next morning, I was trying to figure out how to tell him that we had raised enough. I don't know. I know there's some people behind the scenes that don't want me to say their name about them donating funds and matching funds, but I won't. But I will say that we were blessed enough to meet some people who did something like that. So we were able to tell him. We went to Venice Beach, and we kind of went our separate ways. And as you can see from the picture earlier, I wrote, "Little Will, we're going to the Super Bowl, Who Dey," in the sand. And I called him over and let him talk to you about how he felt when he read it.
Yeah, Will, I really want to hear that moment, because I couldn't imagine being told that, like, I'm going to the Super Bowl with my dad, and what was your first thought?
It couldn't be real, because people I know, especially my grandparents, they have not been to the Super Bowl, and it's a wonderful opportunity for me to be approached that, like, we're going to the Super Bowl. It was unreal.
So now let's get to Super Bowl Sunday, because at that point, that morning you find out you're going, and it's no longer like, okay, we're gonna just be in LA. We're gonna be in the place. And obviously you are not Gen X. You didn't grow up on Jay-Z and Mary J. So you might not have been as overhyped as your dad getting ready for the halftime show initially. But what was your first thought? As we saw in the video, you guys were on the bus on your way to the stadium, because I think you guys did see the stadium before Sunday, or was it your first time seeing it?
We drove past it on the highway. We just saw it, but being a couple feet from the stadium is just amazing. It's huge. It's
Now you're probably like me. You've been to NRG, and then now you see SoFi, and people, I get a little excited over the top sometimes with the way I describe things. But would you say like SoFi is really like Hollywood? It's like Hollywood of a stadium.
Yes. They just need to copy SoFi and put it in Houston.
Well, I'll send that message later, and we'll hope for the best there. But I do have it ranked extremely high.
That scoreboard is just the halo around the top. You can't. It's amazing.
Say it again.
It's too crazy when you walk in there.
Let me ask you this, Will Jr. When you walked into the stadium, because obviously once you're on the grounds, as I described earlier, it's just wide open. So we can move around quickly, everything you ever could have thought of. But when you walked in, like, when did it hit you? Like, I'm here.
when and we get ready to go to the gate. Like, hey, you got to go to another gate because if you go to that gate, your seat will be right there. So we walked around. My son had at least a 15, 20-yard head start on me walking to the gate. I'm trying to catch up with them. We finally get there, and I just took a deep breath, walked in the gate, and I promise you, as soon as I saw the scoreboard and I saw the Bengals end zone, that hit me. Instant tears, instant tears, and like, man, we are here. Then seeing all the Bengal fans that were in attendance. I mean, we sat in a group of Bengal fans. There were actually in my section there were more Bengal fans than there were Rams fans, and we partied up. And it was good to see people from Cincinnati asking them questions. Of course, that another one of the things that we're trying to do is get to a game in Cincinnati. But with me being a high school football coach, those times, the only time you can really kind of go is in December. So if you make the playoffs in high school football, and once again the Bengals haven't been successful in the playoffs, you can't go to a game. But now, hopefully, that things have turned that corner. They can play a couple weeks in, and we get a chance to get out there to a game.
I'll just say, as the stadium queen, I'll make sure to help you out with that plan for Cincinnati because I got that on lock.
I know you've been there.
I do have some good memories of beating Cincinnati on Monday Night Football. I don't know how soon that'll happen again, but hey, I got my memories. But that is one thing that I was glad to see. I noticed you guys were in the other end zone. I was in the Rams painted end zone. You guys were in the Bengals painted end zone. And like I said, I just wanted to hear someone else's take on like when you first see it, because when I saw it just on the tour, I knew that season I needed to see a game in that stadium. And I'm a little teary-eyed. I mean, I'm over here still just hearing you guys talk. I'm not being a good host because I'm supposed to ask questions, but the nostalgia of it all for me, when I saw you at the USC game, like I went home. I shouldn't say home, but I went to my friend's house where I was staying, and I told him, like, he said, they're going. Like, he was like, wait, are you crying? I was like, yes, a little bit, because he was like, well, I was like, it just overwhelmed with emotion. And I was hoping that it meant just half as much to you to be there. And, I tell this often, and I'll say this to both of you, like, sports is a great opportunity to learn leadership, friendship, and just, everyday life, because there's good and bad, right? There's winning, there's losing, and there's different personalities. And so that's just playing sports. But then watching sports, you can, when you find something that can make you feel joy in the morning all by itself, regardless of the way it ends, then you have something and you can spread that into other parts of your life. And so Will, I know you through Facebook, but we don't know each other closely, but everything that you exhibited through your showmanship of sports and your children, to me, told a lot about your character. And so for me, you deserved every moment y'all had this weekend. I hope you get it again and a better outcome. And I just want to say, I'm glad I got it. Just witnessing it is enough for me, right? Like, I was done. I wasn't going to the game until Sunday morning. Like, my goal wasn't to go to the game, but then it just overwhelmed me. But I was thrilled and on cloud nine once you told me you was going. That enough is all I ever needed, And so for me to hear about it and see it, it's still just like so awesome. And for years you'll always have that. And now I see why some people just literally plan for the Super Bowl. They don't care about any other game. But I don't want to be so selfish and hog the moment. So I'm just going to ask and make sure Derek didn't have any questions. I'm going to bring Derek back in. And then I want to thank you guys for being with us on a school night. And look, I wish you success in the baseball season. Hey, Will sends me a proper baseball hat. Last time I had to tell him, hey, man, my head a little too big he sent me a hat and I couldn't get the hat on my head. I was like, look, I'm not the size of the youth. But he hooked me up, and I'll make sure to wear your hat during my baseball season shows. I love baseball, you know that, just as much as football. So I'll be cheering that on, and I'm gonna make sure I bring Derek in right quick, and we can see. And then again, I want to thank both of you for coming on. I'm glad you had a great time, and hopefully next time you'll get the outcome too. D. Jones.
We appreciate it. I'll tell you, we got another hat coming your way.
Okay. D. Jones, we can't hear you.
I went on mute just while I was listening. I didn't want to make noise on accident.
Okay.
So it's an awesome story, man. Congratulations, Will and Will the Third. My question is more for Will the Third. I remember my first road trip, and my first road trip was a playoff game to New England with Gransberry, and I was snake bitten ever since, and been trying to get to every stadium I can. I ain't on the Stadium Queens level yet, but did that make you want to see other cities, other games, and other stadiums?
Yes, but honestly, LA SoFi can't be matched. It can't.
It set the bar pretty high.
When your first is the Super Bowl, I think it's gonna be kind of hard.
Everything's downhill from there. That's cool. That's cool. This, like I say, this is a great story, man. It's good to see that it's good people out there taking care of each other, and I'm glad Will got to experience that with his team, because I don't think I ever will, but at least not for my team. So, but
I'll tell you like this. You know, if you follow me on Facebook, you know, on Mondays in class, if the Bengals lose, I always give my students a Bengals lose quiz of everything we studied the week before. And some years it's 10 plus quizzes. So a lot of those students from 10 years ago remembered that, and they donated so much and said, please win. Don't make those kids take a quiz. Please. I mean, it was so amazing to see all my former students hopping in there and donating money, say, Coach, you deserve this. Coach, we want this for you, Coach. And so I can't even explain that much of it. I mean, people from my first grade class started donations for me to go, because I know they remember being elementary, being that one kid in Bengals gear, and they were all in the Cowboys and Oilers gear. And man, who are the Bengals? And honestly, the whole entire week, when people found out we were from Houston, all the Bengals fans were like, man, how in the world did you become a Bengals fan in Houston, in Texas? And I told them, I said, hey, look, my dad was a Cowboys fan. My mom was an Oilers fan. I didn't want to disappoint either one of them. So thanks to my grandma sitting down watching football games on Sundays at our house, I chose the Bengals. Ickey Woods, Boomer Esiason, the colors, all that good stuff. So, I mean, that's how I became a Bengals fan. And, you know, we're talking 35 plus years later, still rolling and rocking with the team. And that just is much love to everybody that know that. I really, really appreciate all your help and providing the memory for my son and I that obviously in his mind is way up there. And just, like I said, the tears shed that weekend in that 48 hours, I promise you, I could have filled up a whole tub. Just so excited and happy and overjoyed.
Well, I could only imagine. You know, this past season, I reached my pinnacle of seeing the team play on the road in every single stadium. And, you know, the nostalgia I was having, people had so many comments, right? You know, that game, my team lost 0-40. It was raining the entire game. I was soaked, but I had so much joy in my eyes. It didn't even matter. Like, I had cupcakes, tiaras, balloons. Like, people was just telling me happy birthday because they couldn't even figure out what was going on. So, you know, at the end of the day, when you feel it and you have it in you to enjoy, nobody can take it from you. I'm hoping for you that the first game of the season is a rematch of the Super Bowl. So maybe you can catch the Thursday night game and get back home and all that great stuff. If not, hopefully it works out, because you guys do play the Rams this year. It's a perfect year for you guys. So you actually have a great you have a great schedule this year. You're going to play the Bills again, the Chiefs again, and you're going to play the Rams. So, oh well, I don't have no part in that. But like I said, we want to thank you because I don't know what happened to Coach Pat. I'm sure he probably wanted to talk to you. He is watching, but I won't be mad at him because he let me know he had some things going on. So this time I won't be ragging.
Much love to my college teammate. Much love to my college teammate. Good.
Yeah. So just know that he really wanted to be here. He called and everything, but you know he's also a busy man, and tonight was a busier night for him. So
yeah, we normally looking for Coach, and he came through hours ahead of time, right?
I'm gonna let you guys go, but I'm going to play the video one more time for those that may have joined the show late, just so they can see some of that good time you had, and for those that may follow me and not you, so they haven't had an opportunity to see how great of a night or a week you had. So thank you, Will the Third and Will Jr. Y'all have a great night, and make sure you get with me because I have something for you. Sure you get those memories put in print. So okay. I'll hit you up about that for a great way to keep that as something you put on your coffee table. Okay.
Well, say thank y'all. Everybody be blessed. Much love, many blessings, and enjoy the rest of your night. And we appreciate everything that y'all have done, and we love listening to the show.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
Oh man, D Jones, that was great. I'm still trying to get my, luckily they wasn't running down all on my face, but so Coach wanted us to update y'all and know that his game went into overtime. He reffing, so real life took over for him. But we really just wanted to come on and talk about, like I said, the experience of attending Super Bowl and just how different the perspectives are, a father and son attending versus me, obviously. And I got asked that question quite often, like, you're here alone? I was like, well, yeah, I was born alone, and I get that from my mother because I'll say something to her and she'll be like, but I wasn't born alone. I was a twin. So, and I was like, well, I wasn't. I was born alone. So when people ask me, how I move the way I was born. Right. So, and it is what it is, but like I said, everything about last week was just awesome. There's some other points I wanted to bring up, which was one, Tupac Shakur's exhibition that's in LA till about June, and it's going to go to Oakland. I think after Oakland, New York, and Atlanta. I'm not sure if there's some other places, but Wake Me When I'm Free is the name of the exhibit, and I highly recommend it. It was very, I won't say just educational, because I learned some different things about how his mom named him, out of safety, and then later changed his birth certificate to the name she intended him to be at birth. But just to see the mind of creative. We usually see so much of a finished product, but to see how he would keep his notebooks when he wrote lyrics and how he had thoughts of a restaurant and he would write the menus out, just all of that creativity just gave you a little bit more insight to the type of man he was, and not just, how everything wants to be summed up as gangster rappers or thug rappers. Thug life for sure. A little side note tidbit, one of my line's favorite songs was Thug Passion, but that's another story for another day. But but we did celebrate in that moment. But we didn't really talk about this halftime show, Derek. I think this halftime show deserved just a few minutes of our time.
Man.
I know all week everybody's had their say about it, but I wanted to tell you guys that for what it's worth, the halftime show we saw on in person versus what you saw on TV was slightly different. I watched the version that you saw on TV. Was that Tuesday night? That was my first time having a chance to just look at that version. And what I mean by that is the screen angles, because you know your camera angles and what was given.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the same music. It's the same performance.
Yeah, but you got the whole.
But I got the
feel.
whole.
You got
thing
the whole
at one
production.
time. Right.
You
So
got the
I
whole
see
production.
all of the dancers. You see the dancers that they show. You know, I see every move that's being made. And I would say that I love the fact that, you know, I hope most noticed that, you know, the floor was LA. It was the streets of LA.
Yeah.
We couldn't initially tell that from our view of the show. You know, we just saw a decorated ground, right?
Yeah.
But we also got to see, you know, Snoop and them in the car. Whereas I think y'all got cut off on TV from that part. And you have to see it a little different. So I will say I enjoyed both shows very much, very much.
I'm sure if I was there, it would have been like overload for me. I would have been trying to catch it all at one time. I'm like,
man,
I can't get it. Do it again. Do it again.
So let's go there for a second. Some of the videos that I have are so shaky because I can't figure out. I'm trying to dance. I'm trying to sing the lyrics. I'm trying to catch the screen and the ground. Like it's like you want both in your view.
Yeah.
So you are very much true on that. And even I think the one clip I uploaded, I'm still moving a little bit and I'm trying not to rap into the sound of, like, I just gave up and turned it off. You know, for the most part, I enjoyed the game so much too, that I didn't really engage, you know, with live feed and things of that nature because I just needed to take in the moment, you know, and
be present.
Yes,
be present.
Yes.
You know how it is. Just be in that moment.
And you know, another thing too is like the score was tremendously close, like it was for me in the NFC Championship. So whenever you got a good game, you definitely want to stay attentive and in the moment anyway. And ironically, I ended up in the family section of the Rams players. So it was really weird because, you know, the players can't really say nothing about the other player because the family there, right? So like when they mad, they want to say something and get hesitant on their words because they like, okay, well, you know, this player's family is over here to my left, this player's family is, you know, behind me. So I thought it was odd out of all the tickets.
Was you okay? Was you okay though? Because you would be like 12 is horrible.
Oh,
you might not even know the person that usually.
So I was observant of my surroundings, and the whole row in front of me had these hand printed. They wasn't even screen printed. These hand printed shirts with the number on it, and I was like, he sucked on that play. And then I was like, oh wait, let me just chill for a second. I just started having to hit the chair because I was like, nah, that ain't so hot, you know, like. What you doing? And, you know, you start just making a bunch of grunting sounds.
Good. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. So
what is you doing?
Yeah. And the funniest thing when the game was over, they were going down, and you know, COVID restrictions with the NFL only allowed 2 passes for the field, apparently for everyday players, because obviously your Ramseys, your OBJs, and your Staffords and your Donalds had way more than 2 field passes. Right. So they were like, I said, but you don't have a field pass. How about we just gonna go down there and push our way through? I was like, yeah, the complexion I have and the complexion you have, you go right ahead. I'm gonna stay in this seat.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
melanin
interested.
in your skin was telling you different.
I'm not gonna push through at the Super Bowl. Look, and I think you guys didn't see all the streakers because one of the streakers was on commercial break.
Well, you know, they try not to show them anyway, so
yeah. And I mean, y'all, he was running. He went from one end of the field to the other. they could not get him. I don't know. I'm just always curious why you have the most out of shape staff on the field
Because
in
that's not what
every
they're there
single
for.
position. I'm sorry.
That's not really what they're there for. But I
I'm
mean,
just thinking, even if you
they
had to
are,
break
but
up a fight, anything, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
security. So your
They
theory is you are there for things to go wrong and get them back
hoping
in
for the
order.
best. Hoping for the best. Huh?
It must be, because it must have been a slow day. Because one thing I'll tell you in comparison, I'll answer that question in just a minute, Coach. Let me finish this statement. I'll answer that question. So one thing, I thought about was like, okay, compared to the World Series and the Super Bowl, I was worried about what happened at the World Series when I was in Atlanta. I was trying to leave, and the airport had a lot of people call in, and they didn't have enough staff to work TSA. They had to close pre-check and everything because people called in because they thought they were going to win that night for the World Series, so they ain't come to work. So then that was my thought process in like the Super Bowl. I was like, I hope these people come to work because you're the home team, even though it's a Raiders city, you still a home team. You want to make sure, like, are people gonna show up? Because
that might be a little different, because then you get a free ticket to the game, technically. You know what I mean? Even though you're working.
But do you care?
I would, when I saw that halftime lineup, I want to be in that place. You
That's
know
a
what I
good
mean?
point.
And,
So
and you could have ran straight past me.
So coach, back to your question about was it hot? No. And so here's the funny thing, because we didn't do like a show closer to the game, I could have explained that because I knew the answer to that issue from when I took the tour. They explained it. It's one of their big highlights. It's one of the things they're very proud of. They designed the stadium to always be between 70 and 72 degrees. Okay. And you're like, well, how do they do that? And it's not because of air conditioning. The way they built the stadium is that the end zones go out, meaning all the way out to outside. So you see people, and you see, if you look at it on TV, and you see the seats, and then you'll see open space. So basically the airflow will go all the way through the stadium. And then behind all of the suites as well, on the 50, 45, yard line on the second level, those areas go out as well. So the suite area is one level, and then you have the club area where we have the enclosed area where we eat, but the areas to the side of it, they also go out. And then the shading, what they do on the roof, they have a way to put double panels. And when they double the paneling, they're blocking out the sun. So basically they're shading the stadium, which brings down the temperature. So we were never hot, like ever. That's why you didn't see people in the stands sweating. You didn't see nobody with a fan. You didn't see any of that. And you saw people dressed warmer than you would have thought, because you imagine it's so hot outside. They're under heat advisory at 82. Because it's not supposed, they freaking out in the 80s, right? But so outside, I was glistening outside, right? In some of my pictures, because it was the heat was on, as you would say, but still much cooler for us that are from Houston. We would love to be in 85 all day. We still get another set of temperature after that. We still got 15 more degrees sometimes. So we would love to stay at 85. But that's how they keep the stadium cool. They've designed it so that they can shade the sun. And basically, once you shade the sun, that airflow that they have set up, it'll keep it cool. Now, when I went to a night game, the Thursday night game earlier in the regular season, I was actually able to wear a light jacket the entire game, because outside it was 55. So inside the stadium was actually warmer without heat than outside. So their goal was to build a stadium in LA that had an outdoor feel, but the weather would never stop the game. But that still failed them, because when there was lightning in the area, because of the way the roof is made, the lightning would come all the way through. So they still had to stop the game for lightning strikes. And people were wondering, like, they didn't understand why. But that's because it's not the enclosed type of stadium you would think of normally. So in short, no, it was not hot in the stadium, but that's why. And we still don't have Coach Pat, but Coach Pat wanted to tell us the reason why the security guards can't get to the people is because they old. I don't think it's an age thing, but whatever. Age don't have nothing to do with it. I just know on average, you always got somebody trying to streak during the playoffs. And I would have somebody down there that can run with them. That's just me. But guess what, y'all? Coach done made it for the end of the show. Got to give him some kind of props. How nice of you to join us. How nice of you to join us. Was it a good game?
It was a very good game.
How many texts you called tonight?
We didn't have no text. It was the last second. Team had 4 seconds to score. They hit the last second to tie it, went into overtime, then it was back and forth. And it was a 1-point
no
game.
Entanglement, huh?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
It's good to see you, Coach.
Man, I hate that I missed Will, but hey, I'm glad he had a great time.
Yeah, we hate you missing too. We tried to hang on for you, buddy.
All right, that's all right though.
That's okay. Okay, you good with it?
It's all good.
You just got paid. It's Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Feeling all right. Tomorrow's entanglement.
And we don't have no students tomorrow. Oh yeah.
Oh, see, I told you. Look, he already ready for trouble. He already ready for trouble.
No,
he always talking about
loaded.
No entanglements at all. No entanglements at all.
None.
It's coming.
None.
You sure? So you had a good Valentine. Oh wait, guys, talk to me about your Valentine.
No. So, my Valentine's, I was on the basketball court.
Oh, you trying to shut me down real quick? So
no,
did you have side piece Tuesday?
I'm just being honest. I was on the basketball court. I was on the basketball court.
On Tuesday.
And went to the Waller County Line barbecue place right after it. So yeah.
I was there Monday.
You was where Monday? At the Waller County?
I was at Waller High School. So yeah, the game.
I went to the barbecue joint on Monday. I took my short Valentine a gift on PV campus, and on the way back we stopped in and got a little something.
Well, where was I on Valentine's? I was in my sadness.
Why?
It was the first day without football.
And she was about to leave LA.
And I was about to leave LA. You know how much I love LA. We need a GoFundMe to move me to LA.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised that was gonna happen.
To move you?
All your stuff.
All my stuff, B.
How long you plan on staying? Does the GoFundMe have to sustain you? Or
no. Not to pay my bills.
She making this permanent.
You know what I'm saying? Well, she gonna I see it in her future. I'm just saying.
It fits her. It fits her.
It fits me, you think?
She's South Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, South.
We was talking about that earlier.
Look. I gotta tell y'all one more story about LA before we get out of here. So I'm at, we were at the USC game and we're leaving. And you know how it is for conversation, because we from the South, you say good night to everybody. So like when I'm walking out the state, the arena, I'm like, good night. So then this dude runs out. I mean, literally runs out behind me. Ma'am, excuse me. And I'm like, did I drop something? I turn around. He was like, ma'am, where are you from? I was like, huh? I said, I'm from Houston. I knew a dirty South accent when I heard I knew it.
Did you bust the South side?
Oh man, he said he was from
the South Side H-Town.
He was so excited that he heard a true Texas accent. He didn't even know what to do. And I was just laughing because I was like, okay, my brother gave some little dap or whatever. I was like, because the way he ran out, I swore I lost my wallet or something, But I was just like, okay, it's the accent. But it happened to me too at the Tupac exhibit, because at the end, when you finish the exhibit, you know how most exhibits are now, they kind of push you into the gift shop at the end. And so we were at the gift shop and I was upset because I was like, they give you this like a menu and you mark on the menu what you want, but half the good stuff was sold out. And I said, how are y'all in the first full month? Because it just got there January 21st. And you got all the top stuff sold out. Look, man, I don't get but one shot to come through here. And you got all the stuff sold out. And you can't even tell me if it's available online. And the lady was like, man, where are you from?
Like, after all you said, all of that, yeah,
right. And
That's
so
all she heard.
yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to get this shirt. Like, I want you to find this shirt. But she was like, she was from Houston, and she had moved
that
to
makes
LA.
sense.
And so she was just like glad to see somebody from Houston. And I was like, well, maybe I'll be somewhere one day, and I'll say, I'm from Houston. How are you? Then you guys will, come visit me or whatever, right?
Yeah, you'll be in Dallas.
Y'all come visit me if I'm in LA.
For
no,
sure.
when you come to Dallas,
for sure.
What? Why would I come to Dallas?
Because you go watch the Cowboys and the Rams. If you moved from LA.
Oh, you trying to make me? Oh, you putting me with the Rams?
He trying to make you a Rams fan too.
Hold on, wait.
Hey,
if
bro,
D Jones got an NFC team, come on now.
I do. I do.
Come on now.
No.
Gransberry, come on now.
No, hold on. It was a good comment. I just wasn't ready because I didn't. You just had skipped over because I was still thinking like, my Texans too. But I am looking into tickets, so I just, I'm gonna do what a girl got to do. But
it might not be a bad investment,
No, it's just not right. It's just not overall.
Link up. We'll talk about it. We're gonna link up.
Yeah. So we want to thank everybody for joining us. Look, I'm going to start. This has been the Gransberry Chronicles Pick'em. We're going to start the Gransberry Chronicles off season in a couple of weeks. Going to take a few weeks off. Got to decompress myself. I got to, look, I already got my Wake Me When Football Is Back shirt on. I'm a little upset.
USFL?
We do. So I got to get settled and everything else. But I have some other things I'm looking into. So it'll be some of that type of football. But I have some more important things. As y'all know, I'm a huge advocate of estate planning, taking care of business, having your life in order. I don't ever want to be the girl that's at the game cheering and leaving my family to have to figure out how they could pay for burial, who would be in charge if I got in an accident and all those other things. And I just want to remind people that those things are very important and dear to my heart, just as much as football, if honestly more important to me than sports. And I just, going back to sports, I just hope that, we all find something before we leave this earth that brings us great joy. Like I said, and I can honestly say, that's what football does to me. I don't ever want to be a cheerleader per se, like a real cheerleader. I don't want to play the game of football. I want to continue in the lane that I am in and share experiences and opportunities. So if you're looking to get ready for the fall and you have some opportunities you'd like to try to see about traveling to a stadium, the Stadium Queen invites you to sign up at Grand Sports Travel. Because as soon as the schedule goes out, I'm going to have some different opportunities for people to pick up and attend games. Right now, I can tell you, obviously, Dallas versus Houston will be one. Houston versus Vegas will definitely be another. And then I'm going to look into some matchups. Like, honestly, I think people, when you love the sport, you can really get into matchups without being so focused on whether or not it's your team. And especially if your matchup is in a great city, I'll be more than glad to share that with you. So, Coach, I'm glad you finally made it. I'm glad we hung around for you. I missed you. And hopefully we'll catch us a Rockets game in the next couple of months, catch these young guys one more time, and let the people know where they can find you, Coach.
Coach B. Pat on Twitter and Instagram. No entanglements.
Not after Valentine's Day, huh? And my boy D Jones, let the folks know where they can check you out at.
I'm on Instagram at DJones9804 and on Twitter, that boy D Jones. Off season up front on deck.
Well, as you know, it's your girl. I'm the Gransberry. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Look, I try to start everybody's day off with a good note. So if you want to follow me at the Good Day Only crew, I'm open to you joining me there as well. You can find that information even by going to any of my other connects. I have enjoyed you guys this season. I've enjoyed all those made comments, joined us in for a little bit, made a pick. Most important thing we want to remember is that Brandon was wrong about his Super Bowl pick.
Yep.
Barry was
But hey,
on it
Don't
I
when
was
she
supporting my
said,
teammate. So hey,
when she said Cooper Cup was gonna be the spotlight. Told y'all what I said. Now that don't take nothing from OBJ because I forgot to give him his props too. But back to what I said. Yes, we are gonna look into doing some other of the football leagues and see how those pan out for us, especially since our quarterback ended up in North Carolina. So it'd be interesting to see what this new team will look like, right? And me looking into some other show opportunities to share some other things with you guys. And that's it. I'm still sad. It's like saying good night to you tonight. It's saying good night to the season. And I know it's gone already, but I gotta do it. So peace.